conquerors. We are not more than conquerors just because the scripture says so, but because we are fortified, build a capacity for ourselves in order to go to the battlefield. Na ndio nakuta kwamba anybody who is unskilled in the things of God, it is easier for this person to get into trouble. Na ndio nakuta hata wanajeshi ama askari polisi wale wanatoka katika training college. Wakitoka college, wakati mwingi huwa hawatumi kwa vita immediately peke yao. Lazima watumwe kwa vita na mtu ambaye ako na experience, ako na understanding vile vita zinapiganwa, so that aweze kucommand within a period of time how watu wana gain experience. Yes, they may be soldiers, but they don't have the experience of how to fight in any battle. Kwa hivyo mpendwa, hata na sisi ambao tumeokoka, we must have an understanding that the spiritual warfare is there. Whether we like it or not, whether we believe it or not, spiritual warfare is there. So ni vizuri mtu wa Mungu kujihami with the necessary weapons for you to be able to wage a successful war. But for now, we are not speaking about spiritual or war of weapons in the spiritual realm. We are talking about the battle itself, so that we may understand ya kwamba kuna vita. After getting understanding ya kwamba kuna vita, we can now start thinking of, okay, kuna vita. What kind of a weapons do we need for a spiritual warfare? So for now, we are continuing with our topic ambayo tumekuwa na for some time, which is spiritual warfare. Let me give us a scripture reference where we started off, then we'll build up as we continue. Ilikuwa 2 Corinthians chapter 10, and we were reading verses 4. Turudi hapo, then we'll build up from there. Specifically, tuanzia verses 2, or we can just start from verses 1 so that you get the whole context of what you're talking about. Now, Paul anaandikia kanisa la Korintho na anaanza kwa kusema kwamba, now I myself, Paul, beseech you by the gentleness and the consideration of Christ himself. Ninasoma amplified version. By the gentleness and consideration of Christ himself, who am lowly enough, so they say, when among you, face to face, but be bold, fearless, and outspoken to you when I'm absent from you. I entreat you, when I do come to you, that I may not be driven to such boldness as I intend to show to all those few who suspect us of acting according to the flesh, on the low level of worldly motives, and as if invested with only human powers. So in verses 2, Paul clearly states kwamba he is not acting according to the flesh. Hafanyi kazi kulingana na mwili. That's what Paul is declaring. So kienda verses 3, ndio anasema kwamba, for though we walk and live in the flesh, we are not carrying on our warfare according to the flesh and using human weapons. So the first thing Paul is notifying this church of Corinthians ni kwamba, yes, we live in this earth. Yes, we walk in this flesh. But we need to understand, as much as we are carnal and we are in the flesh, we are not fighting according to the flesh, but rather we are using other means to fight. Na ndio nakuta maandiko nasema kwamba, vengeance belongs to me, says the Lord. Yani Mungu anasema kwamba kulipisha kisasi ni kwangu, si kwako. Kwa hivyo unapokumbana na mambo mengine, niachie mimi nikupiganie. And so Paul is saying that as much as I and you are walking in the flesh, one, understand, we are not fighting the fight you are fighting according to the flesh, using mere human weapons. Alafu verse 4 anasema kwamba, for the weapons of our warfare are not physical, weapons made of flesh and blood, but they are mighty before God for the overthrow and destruction of strongholds. I want us to catch that. but they are mighty before God only for the purpose of overthrowing and destroying every stronghold. Now let's look at the word overthrow. Tunajua kwamba in Africa so many governments have been overthrown, meaning that there is a government in place, there is a leader in place,